Hey, Sean.
Hey there, Bryan.
It's a good day, huh?
It is a day, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've already been able to go out for a walk already.
Sounds good.
Summer's an interesting time for me because the office job I have is as professor, and so my schedule's much looser. So that's always fun. Schedule's
Yeah.
always a little loose, but this is
Yes.
like loose and less packed. So any day that I have time to take a walk before
Yep. Yep.
before I get too
Well,
started is a good day.
I know
Yeah, I
all
know you
about it.
know.
Yes. Um, so today I'm going to play you a music video
Okay.
by Moby.
Hmm.
It's called After.
After. Okay.
After.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Let's load it up and see what happens. Okay. Come on. There we go.
That there's a wild ride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, you're good at finding things that I had not been exposed to,
Good.
and that's completely different for me. This is a bit outside of my bailiwick in a lot of ways. So I teach screenwriting. I'm a story guy. I'm a narrative guy, and this is clearly not a narrative piece. One of the conversations that I always have every time I'm teaching story, and I say, "Here's the structure of a story. Here's the structure of a movie." People will say, "Well, wait a minute. What about this movie that doesn't have a story?" And I've said, "Yes, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about movies that have a story. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
story has a form. But you can also use movie for poetry, and a lot of music videos especially fall into this. And this clearly is meant to be poetry and not a story. So I'm again stepping outside of my element in a way. It's describing a situation. And the thing with poetry that we got to be careful of, there's many ways of looking at poetry, and there's many different kinds of poetry, of course. And so there is poetry that does have story with it. The
Mm-hmm.
Iliad was written as a poem, I believe, the Odyssey. Um, but um, uh, a danger that having somebody like me react to a video like this, one of the dangers, and I just want to state it up front, is that I'm going to be trying to find story within it in places where story doesn't belong. I
Mm.
think he's juxtaposing. I'm assuming it's a he.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who directed it, who created the video, but they are juxtaposing images from multiple stories, from multiple eras, from fact and fiction, juxtaposed together to create a mood. And this is the kind of video that you're supposed to feel your way through. I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's much stronger and it's much more impactful feeling your way through, which also allows it to be a video that is a little bit more versatile. Because you could ask Moby, what were you thinking? What is the exact setting? What is the exact story? Who do you imagine this woman to be? Um, and that actually would probably diminish the story. So there's a
Yeah.
there, anytime you analyze a story, you're diminishing it. Let's put people like me in our place. Anytime you explain a story, you're diminishing it. Anytime that this is the problem with sermons, is you do a sermon on a parable, on a story, and what the pastor or whoever's giving the sermon should be acknowledging, and what the professor should be acknowledging, is all I can give you is one slice of what is a really huge thing that goes well beyond what I am going to describe. And as long as you
Right.
take what I'm about to say about this video as one slice, one take,
Right.
um, otherwise
Well, and analyzing these things also, like the power of them is what you are bringing to it
right,
yourself.
right,
Yeah.
which is for this moment and not a
Mm-hmm.
definitive. Any definitive reading takes something that is designed to be to go beyond our senses and puts it in a box so that we can understand it, has diminished the volume of it. So that said, here's my take in general on it, and then we can kind of look at some specific images
Yeah.
through it. You did warn me that you weren't going to share the lyrics because they're not as critical.
I
And
mean, I can.
yeah, you can just
You
tell me
know.
what the lyrics are when we get there. I know it's a lot of repeated things, and it really isn't
Yeah.
lyric
Yeah.
dependent.
Yeah.
Um, we've talked about this before. We both have had faced deaths recently, so that's for me. My journey through it mostly taking the title after and is saying after death, and clearly death is a part of what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Whether it's as weighted as heavy as I'm taking it. Um, we'll see. Because I think that there are several afters that are being hit in this video. Includes an after death of a spouse, and after death of parents is being alluded to in here. And I think after a wedding is being alluded to in here. These events that occur that completely change us, that we don't know what to do with. And I think that there is a unified. I believe it's the same actress in all of these little stories and vignettes. So it's
Hmm.
unified by a similar by a same character trying to deal with, well, what do I deal with in the aftermath?
Hmm.
Let's watch a little bit and see what that sparks.
Okay.
Hey, good pause it there. So one of the things that I've been talking about with most of these, something I'm being fascinated about, is how do they choose to begin a song?
Hmm.
And we've talked about when they choose to begin it with instrumental, when they choose to begin it with lyric, and here they do both by electronicizing the vocal to make it an instrument sound. Do you know what they're
Yep.
saying here?
But my mind was slow.
But my mind was slow. Okay, so that's the repeated phrase,
Yeah.
and done as an instrument, as a electronic, almost off of a keyboard. Um, uh, is again, yeah, an interesting way. It's a distancing way of talking about thoughts, right? Because it would be a natural sounding lyric if we wanted to hear our thought, but this is a thought that's hard to hear. It's a shrill, um, something to be made sense of. Um, which I'm thinking of the Madeline L'Engle quote about art that uh, uh, art is supposed to be making order out of chaos. That's what art does for
Mm.
us.
Hmm.
And this is about chaos. This is about trying to make order out of chaos. But my mind was
Slow.
slow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, which is great because I can't think fast enough to respond. So interesting image on the wealthy, the kind of the Versailles ish sort of gardens, and then this run through, which the costuming placed me in the '60s. One of the impressions, one of the evocations throughout all of this is the death of JFK and Jackie
Mm.
O's response
Hmm.
after. So even though we're also getting this royal sense
Yeah.
beyond that. All right, let's play some more.
Yeah. I wanted to also
Yeah.
just take note of, um,
Oh
well,
yeah.
this repeated player piano.
I
Um,
love the player piano image.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll see it throughout. There's three uses that I noticed of, well, four uses of the player piano. One is the player piano completely still, not playing anything with nobody in front of it.
Yep.
One is the piano player playing, uh, which is it's a fun instrumentation idea because the idea is you have an instrument there that can be played, but you're not playing it. It's being played
Right.
for you. You're not controlling the speed of it. You're not controlling what is being said. You're just having to listen to it. It's moving on without you. Which brings to
Yes.
the third image of the piano roll running out, which I think only
Yeah.
happens near the beginning. But again, another image of what happens when the machinery, which is the only thing that's carrying you forward because you can't carry yourself forward, what
Yep.
happens when it runs out as the
Yep.
question. And then the fourth, which I absolutely love, is the image of the character leaning on the piano, slowly playing three notes while the player piano is not playing itself. So the
Yep.
idea that we've got this machinery moving, but instead of letting the machinery just move her, she's trying to play the music,
Yeah.
and of course going much too slow, so it's not. But the fact that she's trying to be a participant when the machinery is just moving on. Love the piano player image and the fact that they used it at least four different ways. That's all I
Yeah.
saw in the first
Yeah.
round.
And it just kind of mirrors the whole situation and all the different parts of it. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was just paying attention to the use of color in this,
Mm.
particularly red. Um, is a very dominant color in this, and red is a
Yeah,
very
so
evocative color.
and I'm going to have to ask you to guide me through that. I'm partially colorblind, but I
Yep.
believe I noticed two spots where I was expecting red where I don't think I saw red. So I'm going to ask you about those when
Yes.
we hit. because I think that's
Yes.
very important that you take something that is normally red in a red dominant color scheme.
Yep. Yep.
You're making a statement, right?
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, hold up. Yeah, there. This image especially made me think Jackie O. Um,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
the again, we're playing with we're trying. He's playing with our emotions here, um, alternating between potentially happy images, potentially wedding images, juxtaposed with clearly funeral images, death images. The use of the horse is fascinating to me. I don't know what it means, but horses are such powerful creatures that just the existence of the horse and the multiple again. I think the nice thing, one of the many things I'm drawn to with this video is how they would take an image and then they use it in 3 to 4 different settings to to give 3 or 4 different variations using the same image.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The other thing with color here that I will point out is that it'll go from green to red
so is
often
her color?
for
What is she? What color is her outfit here?
it's a red and pink.
A red and pink. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And so it'll go from like this image. Let's see, will it? And then, yeah, it's skipping too far. It'll go from a red image to one where they're outside and there's lots of
Yeah,
green, and those are opposite colors
and
on
a
the
lot
color
of use of
wheel,
white.
and then white and
Hmm.
neutral. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, hold up here. Just, I think it's an interesting choice. Those are riding gloves, I believe,
Mm,
that she's wearing there. I don't think they're horse riding gloves, but I'm not positive. I just that really struck me on the close up of taking the gloves off that they're
mm,
not black funeral gloves, which is
right.
very interesting to me because everything else she's wearing is funeral oriented. Um, yeah, of course, I'm out pointing out the obvious here, but we've got Romeo and Juliet imagery. The
Mm-hmm.
bodies are being laid out not casket funeral style, but the way that we're going to discover Romeo, or we're going to discover Juliet, the way that
Yep.
Romeo discovers Juliet in the crypt, and then also, and of course the regal, the royal. There's a subplot here too of it's not just you have to go on because life goes on, but you have to go on because you're now queen.
You are
um,
now everything
Everything,
falls on
right?
you now. Yep.
So it's interesting because there's this romance angle going on with the Romeo and Juliet, but there's also a mother-father angle going on.
Yep.
So whether the death is, and I don't think it's supposed to be either or. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of everything. Um, it's just kind of lovely the way that they're pulling all of that in. And I will say too that time does not exist in
Mm.
this, and that's
Mm-hmm.
another kind of poetry thing that poetry can do that's harder for story. Story you can jump around in time, but here time just doesn't exist. There is no before or after. There is no the people died and then she went to the funeral and then she went out. It's she got married. She ran away. Oh, and is that a wedding? I feel like the person behind her is carrying a veil, which
Oh,
makes me think that she might be running from a wedding.
yeah.
Is the thing
Yeah.
that she's running from, which I think is also fascinating. But none of those are happening before or after the other. They're all happening
Right.
now. It's all in the um, the limbo now.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And again, in the casket scene, the mom or the wife sitting there with all these red flowers,
Hmm.
um, which you know red brings to mind blood, and violence and death, but also flowers are, life and
Yeah,
celebration. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
juxtapositions all over the place
All
in
over the
this.
place.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, I like the love the mundaneness of
Mm.
pouring tea
Mm-hmm.
within this because there's a lot of extreme images, including the nightmare images of the bandaged couple.
Yeah.
So I'm really am starting to think that this is a mother father is heavier on it than some sort of love interest for her
Yeah.
out of it. Um, uh, but the juxtaposition of just the absolute mundane and really powerful. Kudos to whoever is framing these images,
Yeah.
having the tea set be in the foreground and the actor that is feeling in the background, mostly out of focus in most of these shots. Um, gives us that, but my mind's too slow.
Yeah.
um, feel right there. I love that the players around her are the ones that are doing the movements that are bringing her through the day, which is often, that's the part of it. Is everybody else around us is carrying on as we're stuck, uh, not stuck, slow as we're pushing our way
Right.
through it.
Right. Yeah. And again, we've got the pink and the red, uh, and green are your two main colors in this image. And then you've got the flowers and flowers up here, but then the flowers repeated on the tea cups and pot. And yeah, I totally, yeah, agree with you that love this kind of mundane tea image, but then she's in the back in anguish. Um, yeah, again, great juxtaposition.
Oh, when you had the time to give. Oh, when I had the life to live. But my mind was slow. But my mind was slow. Oh, when you wanted more from me. Oh, when you wanted more from me. But my mind was slow. But my mind was low. Yeah, yeah. Oh, when you had the time to give. Oh, when I had the life to live. But my mind was slow. But my mind was low. Oh, when you wanted more from me.
Hold up there. Yeah, so a couple things again, playing with us on the practical level, the legal
Mm-hmm.
going on, which again later on when we see the coronation, we realize there's a whole lot more going on than just estate issues, right? Uh, and that's one of the things that is kind of crushing with any dealing with any death, is the legal system doesn't let you stop.
Right.
There is no there's no kind of pausing to go, you know what, collect yourself and come back in a year and we'll figure this stuff out. It's like, nope, you got to make decisions, got to make them right now. You're making decisions for loved ones, about trying to think of what they would have wanted done, um,
Yeah.
along with your responsibilities. And certainly, in watching the early seasons of The Queen, you see that it's like, no, the state doesn't stop because the head of state dies. Right? Uh, Things keep
Machinery keeps
going.
going. Yep.
Yeah, whether you like it or not. Here's our piano, our player piano. I think it's interesting with these guys that they start out so friendly and caring, and I'm
Yeah.
just here to help you, and then they get angry,
They get,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Which
They get,
again is that breadth of emotion. The horse. So the horse. We've got two horses.
Yep.
We've got a carousel toy horse,
See
fake
if I can
horse,
find it.
and a lot of the same poses on the fake horse is on the the carousel horse is on the real horse. That's
Yep.
fascinating the way they're creating parallelism in imagery with two different kind of settings. One evoking the child and one evoking the adult, even though the actress is often posed the same way. And you have this leg lift. What's that all about? I have no idea what the leg lift is all about.
I don't. Let's see if I can.
It's
I don't know if I can scrub enough
yeah. Her
to.
first approach. We'll actually get an image of her on the piano beforehand, but
Oh, there's the
yeah, there's
horse.
her with the horse, and we'll see a similar kind of pose of her draped across the real horse.
Yep. And again, she's
There's the
wearing.
dad, I think.
There's the red, and there we are out with the green. Um, chasing her. Not sure if it'll let me. The hair brushing, straightening everything out.
Yeah, which again, the mundane.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I did notice too, like when they were showing the couple dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it switched with the lights
Mm,
down, and so then they were in silhouette and no longer fully there.
fully there.
Yep. Yeah. And I think yeah. I'm starting to make the connection with your mind, uh, the state of your mind after you've lost somebody, and then but the world's still moving on, but you are wanting to just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, yep. Here's the putting on the shoes,
Yeah, I guess that's what that is.
the red shoes.
That's I think that's training, right?
Mm,
That's her being trained on the proper way to be eating, how to use your forks, how to use your.
yep,
This is training her for the job ahead for when her parents are gone.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. Whew, okay, seeing a lot
Yeah.
more in round two, of course, of course. I
Hmm.
mean, like,
That's what's so great about this sort of video is, yeah, the more you watch it, the more it kind of reveals itself. Also, the training, two things, takes away the enjoyment of this amazing cake,
yeah, yeah,
and it's hard to enjoy things like this when your brain is still dealing with a tragedy. Of course, covering it with all that red
yeah.
is also. Yeah, they're
That's a great image.
chasing her with.
It looks like a veil, right?
It does. It does.
So is this her running away from the responsibility? Is this the coronation veil? Is this her attempt to avoid all of it? I think maybe.
Yeah, that's the way I would look at it. There
Yeah, so
was the
definitely
the
going from the child on a cart on a carousel horse to it's now the real thing.
The real thing.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's
Um,
even crowned in this picture. Look at that.
yeah. Also kind of like three sons.
Hmm.
Um, mother,
Uh, and then,
father,
yeah, the
daughter.
thorns, the cutting her finger on the thorn.
Yeah, she cuts her finger on the thorn and bleeds blue.
Bleeds blue, right?
Yep.
Which could be blue blood of royalty. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it could be.
Yeah.
Is you think that's what they're going for?
That's what I was. That's what the thought that I had. Yeah. Yep. And the sealing of the document with wax, but then
It's all blood,
it's
the
all
blood
blood.
red.
Yep.
Uh,
It spills all
yeah.
over. I'm trying to see if I can.
It's the two signatures. I'm guessing mom and dad, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't really read it.
Hold up there. That rose, what color is it?
Let's go back. It's red.
The single rose.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also the at least I was interpreting it as the juxtaposition between going up and taking the crown and the coronation, and then going up with the flowers for the funeral.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. They're both long walks down the aisle.
yep, for sure.
Yeah, and the family picture being one of the last ones that we see of her as a little girl. Not
Yep.
quite. This is actually, this is something that I think The Crown did, and it was very lovely. The first season of The Crown, of kind of establishing. Um, there are those rulers who grow up wanting to be the ruler, and there are those who just grow up with mommy and daddy.
Yep.
And this looks like, oh, this is just growing up with mommy and daddy,
Yeah.
which makes it even harder when suddenly you have to shift gears and into something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Also the going back and forth between the single flower and then
Hmm.
her just standing there
With her back to
looking
us,
away with her back to us.
right?
Right.
Right. That
Yep.
that choice is rather astounding.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. And I mean, surrounded by black, just all alone.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Now, what do you know about the history of this song and this video? Was it written for something, or was it just?
As far as I know, it was just on one of Moby's albums. I'd have to look it up. The director was I believe Alberto Gomez. I'm not sure. Yeah. Da, da, da. Yeah, I'm not seeing that it was for anything other. It was on his Destroyed album.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, after it's yeah, interesting take. and again, the music video, the video could have been a whole lot of other things, given the
Right.
lyrics, right? But that I love. I think it's interesting to kind of take that extremism of the royal. The person who we identify with is just a kid, is just one of us, and then layering on the extremism of the royal. Um, I think rather than distancing, it actually makes it even more relevant to those of us who have gone through any of these kind of losses. Of it feels like everything is critical and important to everybody else around us, except for
Mm-hmm. Yep.
our own mourning.
Yeah. Everything, the whole world from your perspective shifts and becomes kind of surreal, and but yeah, life just and
Life just
everything
keeps
just
going.
wants to keep going on, and
Yep,
you're
the
like,
player piano just keeps playing.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for introducing me to that.
yeah,
That's,
you betcha.
again, something new for me.
Yep, there you go. Alrighty.